Hello, I'm Coach Brian Pirana. I am a remote nutrition health coach. I've worked with people for the last 20 years in a wide variety of different ways, from an exercise and nutrition degree in '04 to personal trainer for many years. I've owned 2 gyms for about 5 years, and I've been doing a lot of remote nutrition, health, fitness coaching and to date. So I have clients all over the U.S. I even had the opportunity to work with a 2-time Olympian that went to Paris and Tokyo. Pretty wild and crazy, amongst a lot of other people that just have a typical day-to-day. I'm a father of 4. I'll be 42 here in like two weeks. I've got 4 kids. I'm freshman in high school all the way to 3 middle schools, 3 boys and girls. Life is busy. So what do we do with the holidays? This has been my 21st season or so, something like that, around guiding people through making better, healthier holiday seasons. And let's jump in to this. So comments are open, chat, comment below, and let's get to it. Today, the agenda, the contents, barriers to success in the holidays, common areas of stress, holiday events, holiday nutrition, like what the heck do we eat, and then the exercise and activity that we have. So when we want to have these barriers to success, we know that the holiday is busy. 'Tis the season. There's so much happening in this 40-ish day time frame. November, say, even if you wanted to count the Halloween, that would be about 2 months worth of effort ramping up to this holiday season. Or if you just have Thanksgiving through the New Year's, you have roughly 40-ish days. You've got the big ones: Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and those can throw a whirlwind in your ability to be successful managing your health or body weight or just overall activity and fitness. Plus, there's other things that are on top of it: Friendsgiving and Friends Christmas and family get-togethers and job get-togethers and all these things that ultimately boil into you being really busy, crazy. Now, stress can be quite high. Money, stress, right? They just always have to spend for people. And we want to do that, right? We want to show love, value. We want to show, give to others that are less in need. There's certainly a lack of time, and we're constantly getting marketed to. I think Amazon had one of their best ever Black Friday or Prime Days or something like that just recently here in the last 2 weeks. So like consumerism is always at an all-time high, and there's heavy marketing to put that into play, which keeps you more distracted. Holiday events are hard to make it healthy and stay healthy. It's cold outside usually, especially even with, in quotations, climate warming and such. It's still cold. It snowed a couple times already where I live. It's actually warmer today, but they're cold. Keeps you indoors and not wanting to move as much. Parties, of course, lots of them. Late nights, early mornings for work. Just really gets disruptive to your routine, your schedule. Say after work you always went to your workout routine or the gym or walk or whatnot. Well, if you were thrown off by that because this evening you have to do errands, do Christmas gift giving type things, or you have a meeting, then that's going to throw off your evening and take up more time. And that leads to overbooked schedules that really put more demand on your time, more stress around how to manage all the things. And then abundance of course, unhealthy foods. There's Christmas treats and snacks and delicious and eggnogs and Christmas ales and all sorts of temptations. I always enjoy some holiday eggnog this time of year. If a Christmas cookie falls around my lap, I might eat it in a sense, because I don't get those. I don't eat cookies that often unless my kids make them. Then I'm forced to eat them, right? Now, shopping is also ever present. There's financial strain and time strain around gift giving. My wife and I are rubbing our heads together. This is the most challenging Christmas season, and with my oldest being in high school, and if you have kids, you know the feeling of like, okay, gifts are more expensive, It's harder to wow than it once was in the past, and finding those perfect gifts for people can be really challenging. Shoot, even trying to make up a holiday list for myself, for my kids to get for me or something, or Santa, of course. And then my birthday's on the 28th, so it's like 3 days later. I was like, shoot, I need to think about something to write it down on paper to give them some ideas on what to get me, and not just give me another like world's best dad coffee mug, right? I'm great, I'm flattered, but I don't need any more coffee mugs. I've got plenty of those. I don't even need more ties. This is about the only tie I do wear, because I am in fitness and health and nutrition, so I don't have to dress up per se, except for situations like this. So I don't even need ties. Now, travel, certainly my wife is a travel connoisseur. She's actually a travel advisor, loves travel. She takes us all over the place. We've actually visited 50 states and a couple countries and continents and stuff, and we're trying to figure out what we're doing this holiday season for travel, whether it's something just for fun or you're traveling for family situations. Again, more time, more potential for money, more potential for stress, more potential for things to go astray. Even her last outing, she was just by herself on a solo trip for work, and her bag didn't show up at the hotel for like 3 days. So she's just kept rinsing and washing her socks out in the sink, hanging up to dry overnight. So we know that there's going to be delays and other travel-related issues that pop up. Of course, we have guests that make it even more challenging on your personal time, entertaining them, having additional responsibilities. Yesterday, I talked with a client, Brian, and fortunately, we had the same name. But in Thanksgiving time, he had like 30 people at his house. He told me that meal costs about $1,000 to fund, to have those people there. That is staggering. when he kind of reeled back the receipts and stuff, that's a lot of impact. He had an amazing time. The food was delicious. It was amazing. But also the cost of entertaining these people was a bit much. He loved it. He would do it again. But you know the feeling too, right? Just the extra strain of that. So hitting up the chat for you, what are some of the barriers you're most concerned about during the holidays? Now, we've got one is they have to go to 8 places or something on Christmas Day. Of course, that's a strain, and that's an obvious challenge for a lot. Certainly, you can totally go do that and love it and live it and enjoy it, but also you could not participate and spread some of that love and cheer out and have more private get-togethers with some of these people. Just depends on what it is that works for you. Another person talks about their gym routine just kind of goes out the door, and they always feel like they're back on the New Year's resolution bandwagon come January. I totally understand that. It's something I work through with every single person I'm working with right now. It's like, how do we maintain some sense of personal time, personal schedule to keep yourself healthy and active? At the very least, you being more active in this time of year will keep you potentially healthier, lower risk of illness, and keep your energy levels up, because movement is energy, and it's a good thing. We have one other one. He just can't seem to put down the eggnog. I hear you, my man. That one's a big challenge for me as well. I love this stuff. It only comes around this once. I've got, of course, the store-bought one. There's this one called Hartzler's. It's just super premium ingredients that taste amazing. It's like $10 for the quart or something. And then, of course, my wife makes some homemade eggnog as well, and can't get enough of that stuff. But like a cup of it's like 200 calories or so, like just off the top of my head, but that's a lot of calories to be consuming. The delicious combination of it all. All right. So what are some of the challenges that show up in this area around stress? Certainly we covered these, but of course the schedule is out of your control sometimes. The expenses of bills and the holidays and trying to create a level of excitement for those you love. There's so many events. You keep getting more and more scheduled on. I know that my wife was talking about all the school activities that are leading up to the end of school, of the winter break. We have 2 swim meets this week. We have to be at the school, the middle school a bunch of times. There's school, after school, later pickup for different events or sports swim practice. We've got our own family things like the Christmas tree festival that we want to go to. This Sunday, we're going to go see Elf, Buddy the Elf at the Civic Center and watch it there. What else? There's so many things that are going. Of course, temptations of treats. You're just exhausted. Just being cold all the time can make you exhausted in and of itself. The calories pose extra weight gain. There's more stress. Your home work-life balance can be off the rails at this time, especially if you're using work to help make extra money, doing overtime and such. Then that in and of itself challenges the balance as well. So where do we see holiday stress? Well, it increases, decreases, or stays the same for most people. For most, in the pie graph here, we have 54% say it stays the same. We have some, almost 40% say that it increases, and a very few select, under 10%, say it actually decreases. I could see, for me, it might decrease as my kids leave my house, obviously. Right? There's significantly less demand on a variety of different things as they grow into their older adult selves. But for now, I would say for me personally, the stress seems to have increased in the number of events, the activities, the pressure to, say, perform on Christmas, in a sense, if you're a parent. Those are some of the things that are trending. Making sure that there's always money in the bank to pay for all the things that we want to do and create, most importantly, the experiences that we are after. Holiday stressors. Well, lack of time, lack of money. It's going to be relatively often to sometimes. There's always going to be. So all those things that we went over, there's always some level of stress causing it. It's something that we hadn't, the pressure of just giving gifts or receiving them. Some people just don't like to receive gifts as much. Family gatherings, staying on your diet, increasing credit card debt. That's one that can definitely cause some pressure to make happen. Now, other contributors, how often do each of these, the following causes you stress during the holidays? So often or sometimes by cohort, meaning group of people. So increase the lack of time, lack of money, and pressure of gifts usually increases. More graphs. So we have food and alcohol. How do we relieve stress in this time? And people use food for so many different things. For excitement, joy, positive experiences, sadness, and anger, and frustration, and stress relief. So here we have, men and women are somewhat likely. So about 50% are somewhat to very likely to be using food as a way to relieve stress during the holidays. And then alcohol, unfortunately, alcohol has calories. So it's always going to kind of bite you in the butt a little bit. So to combine about 30% or so of people are likely, or very likely, men and women to use alcohol as a way to go about it. So holiday events, what do we have? Now, the average American is spending upwards of $700 on gifts. I pretty sure I'd double or triple that, feels like sometimes, for 4 kids and a family of 6. And the total estimated amount of spent is $465 billion in a year. Obviously, 'tis the season for consumerism and capitalism as well. So you have to be careful not to just keep buying and buying and buying. being a father of four, my one friend, he has 4 kids as well, go figure. But Dan always says, hey, let's not buy an end of the January toy or an experience. And what he means by that is don't buy something that the kids are going to play with for a week and then just forget about by the end of January. Let's actually put money and time into valuable things that create the experiences that we are after. So how do we shop in a smarter way? Online shopping has made it so much easier these days to really get a lot done in a little time. You don't even have to leave your house. You could actually go buy and say Amazon or Temu or wherever your favorite shopping experience is. You could do that within an hour or less if you knew what you were getting. Pick a day during the middle of the week to go, right in the middle of the day or early in the day when the store's open. The middle of the week is a great time. Being self-employed, I often try and peruse the stores in the first half of the day before lunchtime. Makes it so much easier on my schedule and ability to get shopping done. Make sure you absolutely have a list of what it is that you are offering and looking to get there, where they are offered, the gifts are offered at, what the deals are. If you have this down, then you are able to maximize time and energy and save some money. Instead of buying gifts, other things, donate, give your time to an experience, like volunteer, create something lasting memory for someone else. That's really important. I had season passes to a hockey team. It's really easy for me to be able to create an experience with someone with that and just go to the event and enjoy that time with them, creating a memory rather than, say buying a shirt or something. All right, next up is the party schedule. It's one after another after another. So there's an obvious number of reasons why you can be overwhelmed, but you got to practice restraining yourself on one way or another. You don't have to have the extra serving. You don't have to have the extra cookie. You don't even have to have more than 1 or 2 bites of something to feel satisfied with the experience that you're having. Okay? There isn't this massive amount of, a magical amount of calories that you need to consume for you to be like, that was great. I'm happy and satiated and satisfied now. That doesn't have to be it. You could literally have a small drink serving or a bite or 2 of something and check it off your box like that was amazing, delicious, really great that I was able to have that and it not cost me an hour's worth of walk or more to burn it off in a sense. Limiting the time of the length of your stays at places. I've already had a couple conversations where people are talking about stress of being around others. There's also obviously negative impacts to that. We don't want to allow for an extended stay. If you were to leave, say, go over and commit to 2 or 3 hours for something, not for 8 hours of an experience, you're going to be able to go over there, give them your all, and check out before things start to round down on energy or ability or tension might start to build. Certainly we can meet with people at other times. It's the holidays, of course, yes, but we can still have that holiday excitement and activity in January. Something to look forward to even. I think life should be lived in anticipation of things that are ahead of you and look forward to that. Well, why wouldn't you want to look forward to another get-together with someone after the craziness of December? You manage your schedule on days with events. You got to make sure, there's a number of people I've worked with that have payroll on certain days that they are responsible for doing. That's a time-intensive and mentally intensive task to do. It's very important to not stack too many other demanding things on your time that day. You want to have an easy day. You want to have an enjoyable day, something to look forward to after your time is done there in that gathering. Mindfulness breaks. Set a positive tone for each day by closing your eyes and taking deep breaths, really being in the moment and feeling refreshed. We want to make sure that we start the day off focused with what's ahead of us. Another way is just taking a break. If you have more stress building up, we often know that taking a 5-minute timeout will help. Catching a bubble and not saying anything. Taking a moment, put down your phone before you reply to a text or an email might spare even more stress, more challenge, more issues in the future. But just pausing and just thinking a little bit and not just reacting. So we also, when we're in the holiday experience out there, we want to not get in a rush on snowbound days of heavy snow when you're driving. We know that there's going to be longer lines if you go at certain times of the day, so you're just in for the holiday cheer at that time. And just know everyone else is trying to get gifts and give love and joy to those close to them. So empathetic dialogue. We totally could have this when you're spending time with your families. We can be empathetic. We can match their energy. We can resonate with what the things they are saying. We can think about how to make sure that they feel heard, they feel listened to, and so do you. It's just we want to be calm, open. Kindness is always, treat people with kindness. 100% always works way better than any other approach. Certainly avoid touchy subjects. We know there's a number of them out there you should just never talk about in certain situations, even if you want to agitate someone. And again, we just want to avoid that. We don't want to poke the bear, so to speak, by bringing up a certain topic that uncle, whoever, gets really fired up about. We just want to avoid that. Bring in awareness to the conversation and recognize when it ends. You want to focus on the present of being with the person, connected to the things they're saying and have active listening. We also understand, like, hey, maybe the conversation's done. Let's move along here. Mindset. Take a few moments for self-care every day. Okay? It's really important to schedule this into your day. As much as that sounds interesting to schedule time for yourself to be mindful and focus on self-care, it's not. If you let your schedule be dictated by those around you, or the tasks at hand, or the day itself, the day will blow you whichever way it will for it to get whatever it wants out of it. So my days change dramatically from start to finish, and I don't often know what or why or how it ends up that way. So doing important things for myself sooner or scheduling it in, not bending upon it, can be really beneficial to staying in the right headspace and feel good about your energy. Instead of focusing on what is going wrong, look at the aspects that bring joy, that creates memories, it creates opportunity for more engagement. Always look to keep conversations open with the way you talk and present yourself to others by asking interesting questions, not just like, hey, how's the weather out there? There's lots of other ways to go about finding conversation starters that way. In fact, there's a cheat on there. So I saw this just the other day. I listened to a lot of subject matter experts, in a sense, and this gentleman talks about communication. How do I communicate effectively to people so that they understand what I'm saying here and are able to comprehend and take something valuable from it? So hopefully with our conversations here, you have some level of communication skills. But he was mentioning about conversation starters or keeping questions to be able to have in the back pocket for you when you're in these conversations with people you might not know. Say a work dinner. Well, you could totally have used even AI, some ChatGPT or some Gemini, and ask it, hey, what are 5 open-ended questions I can ask someone that I just met? If you did that, it's going to give you a lot of different ideas and just some conversation starters to find common ground, space to be able to connect with someone and talk to them and open the conversation up. Focus on the big picture of what's truly important in your everyday. Don't get so nestled into the specific moment at any one time and let that get the best of you. A me, you list. Okay, well, create a list of what you need, like an exercise, haircut. I have a haircut schedule. This is on the longer end of what my hair usually is. I do it every 3 months or so, quarterly for a haircut. But December 23rd, I have a haircut scheduled with Sarah. She's my hair gal and has been for a long time. I have workout time with my buddy Chris. I have family walks or my walks with my wife, with my dog in the morning. So there's time that I schedule. So those are things for me. What are things for what other people need? Well, I have 4 kids. I have a list of clients that I'm engaged with and communicating with. I have other demands from the school as well and sporting activities. So those are on the list on the calendar and have appropriate time set aside for them. We're going to prioritize the list and only take on what is reasonable. That's really important too. Just make sure that the word no, the 2-letter word no, can be very powerful when used appropriately. And you don't have to say yes to every single thing there. In fact, if you start using no in a more powerful way, controlled way, you're going to be able to get more of what you want out of life and be a lot happier as well. Kindness, kind to yourself and kind to others. The golden rule, treat others as you would like to be treated. Obviously, that's what we want. To enjoy our world, enjoy our opportunity, connect, and have lots of good positive energy. Being realistic, avoid comparing your holidays to previous years. Every single year is a little bit different. Change. Life is ever present with change every single day. There's always opportunity to make sure we're changing toward the positive. If you're not careful and you let just society run away with it, society and unfortunately runs toward the negative. So you have to be very on guard and aware of the incoming messages and signalings to you to avoid that type of situation. Being flexible. My family is growing. My family is actively changing. The youth, that childlike excitement is changing into teenage angst sometimes and young adulthood and what that brings in the holiday season. So as a parent, I have to adjust my traditions, my rituals, our family get-togethers, gatherings, and things that we do have to change a little bit. We will be seeing Buddy Elsa, as I said, this Sunday. We did set up our Christmas tree together. We've watched a couple Christmas movies so far together. We're still doing some of those fun things. We will go drive and see Christmas lights. There's at least 2 to 3 in our area that have all the whole setup and the songs and stuff. So we're going to be doing that at some point as well. Choose a few of your own traditions to hold on to while being open to creating new ones. As our kids start bringing other people into their lives, we'll have to be open to adjusting to their needs and their focus. Understand what you can and cannot commit to. Again, that word of yes and no is ever present so that you're realistic about what your schedule can handle and how you can manage your time. So let's talk about nutrition. What you eat. First up is alcohol. Christmas ale, holiday cheer, all happening right now. So consumption increases obviously during the holidays from a variety of different reasons. We went over some stress, some happiness. Most are going to contain anywhere from as low as like 100-ish, 120 to 300 plus, depending on what's there, what's consumed. You can have mindless eating or associated higher calorie food intake as a result of some of your choices when it comes to alcohol. Oftentimes, it's not necessarily the 120 or 300 calories of alcohol you had. Sometimes it's the 1,000 extra calories of food you decided was a good idea to eat. And that food could come in really small packaging, like a couple cookies and an eggnog, or a meal out, or a burger and fries, or a lot of different ways to get 1,000 calories in. If you want, you could definitely take a picture of this, rethinking your drink of choice. So we'll go through a couple of these. A glass of wine, 5 ounces, 120. When we get up to champagne martini, about 180. When we get into some higher calorie drinks like a mudslide or a white Russian, 350. Pumpkin spice latte. Everyone loves Starbucks this time. If you go full all in, normal pumps and all, 400 calories. And then your cohort that's with you, they're like, oh, I'm going to treat myself to this holiday treat, the peppermint mocha, another for 470 there. Eggnog, it's pretty typical, about, like you said, like 200 or so, 210, and hot chocolate, depending on the way you go about. If you do Swiss mix and stuff and some whole milk, it tastes really good, but the calories are going to be there. If you do something like a protein shake, a chocolate protein shake warmed up, that could work. It could substitute there. There's a lot of different ways to create a hot chocolate beverage. That doesn't mean that it's just going to be 400 calories of sugar and fat. So how do we reduce the beverage calories, whether it is from alcohol or non-alcoholic beverages? We just need to be conscious of the mixers. They often contain lots of sugar, so many calories that you don't know. Oftentimes, there's not even necessarily calories available to see on what some of the mixes are, or you literally just pay zero attention to them. Using a smaller glass always helps, right? Our perception of even eating food on a smaller plate allows us to conserve calories a lot easier, a lot better that way. Finding some alternatives as well with that, no calorie. There's so many no calorie options available now that you can have. They have the little squirter drink additive things. You could have a club soda, a shot of vodka, and a little cranberry squirter to get a cranberry vodka or something. There's citrus fruits that you can blend in with stuff or squeeze in, and just using a splash of a juice, using a diet or like Coke Zero or something, Jack and Coke, Coke Zero, could cut calories and sugar quite a bit. Know your limit. Switching to flavored or sparkling water after having one or two could definitely help. If you're out and about with people, you totally can do a switcheroo with the bartender. Hey, I'm going to have this one first, but then I want all the other ones with just a club soda in it. No vodka, please. And you can give them a couple extra bucks for a tip to help make sure that it looks like the alcoholic beverage, but you're consuming zero more calories, even though you're getting served a bunch more drinks. The other thing is you have to account for the calories coming from alcohol. Whether you want to consider it being healthy or not, that's not relevant here. What is relevant is making sure that if I'm going to have 500 calories of alcohol, I need to compensate for that in other food choices in the day with obviously lower calorie foods, less starch, less fat, leaner proteins, and lastly, lots of vegetables, maybe some fruit. So skipping the bread basket and dessert are a good idea to help. And drinking water the rest of the day can definitely help as well. Tips to eating healthier. Load your plate with veggies. Bring your favorite foods. I can't tell you how many people take a vegetable tray to their family get-together and everyone's like, oh, it's such a good idea. And they're like, well, that's wonderful, but secretly it's for me, so don't have too much of it. And the reason being is that you can eat off the vegetable tray a lot and then still enjoy some of the finer things of that meal without having to sacrifice taste or flavor or calories. Bringing a healthy dish, you can just go find healthier alternatives to the sweet potato pie type situation or stuffing or whatnot. You can find better opportunities that make the dish healthier, lower carb, lower fat. Swaps don't mean you have to sacrifice flavor. I can't tell you, there's so much different flavors, seasonings, spices, herbs, sauces, dressings, dips, and whatnot that are low calorie, that can really add to the flavor, to the experience that you're after. A simple one here, right? Obviously, sour cream can be swapped for Greek yogurt. In mashed potatoes, casseroles, dips, you can use different seasonings. Like, say, you could use dill, or there could be a everything but the bagel seasoning. There could be tagine in it. There could be a lot of different things in the yogurt. A ranch seasoning packets to give it more of a ranch-like experience. You could do that, and it adds no calories. Pasta and zoodles. I was looking this up for someone yesterday. A cup of spaghetti squash, or even a zucchini is even less, but like 40 calories. A cup of pasta was 200. Okay, there's a huge difference in calories there. And so we can still manage carbohydrates that way while loading the plate up with lots of food, and good sauce, meat sauce or something could really make it enjoyable. Plus, you're getting a lot more fiber when you use alternatives like zucchinis or spaghetti squash rather than pasta. Another substitute, and we could do mashed cauliflower. Even if you did something like 50-50, half potatoes, half mashed cauliflower, it might blend well and change the taste texture for something that's manageable, reasonable, tastes good, and you'll have a lot of nutrition density, get some other micronutrients. Cauliflower has a lot of fiber in it, so that would be something that we would certainly see happen as well. Pies to prepared fruit. Now, I'm probably just going to eat the pie. Not going to lie. The pie and Cool Whip, my 1-2 combo. I love it, I love it, I love it. But of course, the obvious swap here is having some pie swap the pie for some fruit, or have a fruit in a prepared dish that doesn't have globs of butter, sugar, flour added to it to keep the calories in check. Green bean casserole. Well, number one, you can have a lower calorie. If you just Google search low calorie green bean casserole, or low carb or low fat green bean casserole, it's going to give you more what you want. It's this simple swap. Getting green beans by themselves are just super fiber dense and are low calorie as is, but yet all the gloop in it, the onion toppings, it starts to add up. Now, Brussels sprouts are a great alternative. Tons of low calorie, tons of fiber, very filling, very tasty that way. Another one is making a sweet potato. So we mentioned this earlier, sweet potato casserole, the light version. Well, topping a sweet potato casserole with marshmallows or sugary crumble makes it more like a dessert. We could just drizzle sweet potatoes with a sauce made with extra virgin coconut oil, maple syrup, some ginger, some pumpkin pie spice. A lot of that can be create that sweetness without adding just straight sugar to the mix. Some healthy fats there. Here's some other really good swaps. So taking your canned cranberry for homemade sauce, gravy for pesto, deep fried turkey for oven roasted turkey, a fatty dip like a French onion dip for hummus, a meat cheese plate, a charcuterie board for veggies and shrimp, like a shrimp cocktail mix. Taking cocktail mixers and swapping them out for club soda or 0-calorie beverages alternatives. White bread stuffing for wild rice or a whole grain stuffing. So those are some healthy swaps listed here. All right, next up, overeating. The average person consumes at least 3,000 calories on Thanksgiving, probably similar on Christmas and New Year's. So by overeating just those few experiences, you could gain a pound from each of those experiences, ultimately resulting at least 3 pounds from the holidays, amongst other situations that could cause you to gain more. So here's a typical Thanksgiving. When it's all said and done, it adds up to 3,100 calories from your appetizers, your main dish, side dishes, desserts, easily 3,000 calories. If you eat anything else in the day, then now we could be closer to 4,000. So maybe on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, you just eat once. That would spare you a lot of calories, at least, and keep them more managed. How do we overeat? Well, prepare in advance. We don't skip meals. Make sure that we're managing calories throughout, satisfying our hunger cues, and with enjoyable things that don't hit the calories. Try just a little bit of everything, a spoonful of stuff. Have a conversation away from the food table. Don't just hang out next to the appetizer tray. That in and of itself will save potential lots of calories. Just imagine this. If every appetizer that you had on that plate was 50 calories, which is a reasonable amount of calories for any appetizer like food. You unknowingly ate 6 of them at 50 calories. That's 300 calories that you could have consumed straight then, not really paying attention. Okay? But you already had 4 before that, so now we're at 10. So it'd be about 500 calories of appetizers that you just consumed. Now, of course, we're going to listen to the body signs. Okay, if we feel our stomach getting full, we want to slow down. We want to kind of, again, stop, move away from the food to avoid overeating. Portion control, easy ways to manage that. A smaller plate size. Make sure that all your food is visible. Don't pile food on top of itself. Move away from the food availability, the platters, the serving dishes. Enjoy your favorite food slowly. Take a bite and enjoy it. Don't just gobble it up. I was teaching my kids about eggnog. It's just like you take a sip and you enjoy the flavor. You don't just chug. Please don't chug. There's just so many calories here that you could easily swallow 600 calories in a heartbeat. And of course, know the serving sizes. I just recently created up a holiday guide, how to survive the holiday guide, and going over portion sizes can be very, people don't realize it, and then they see what an actual serving size is like. I just ate double that. Like, well, let's put a 2x in front of those calories because we're multiplying them now. How do we manage leftovers? Certainly can give them away to guests. You can have them spread out over the next few days. You could freeze some, save it for a couple of days from now or even next week and pull it out. Using turkey and other meat in sandwiches, eat in a salad with vegetables on the side. That could go really well to help manage calories and portions there. Here's some example serving size. Brie and cheese. 1 ounce of brie with 3 crackers is 185 calories. Veggies and dip 6 carrots, celery, and 2 tablespoons of dressing. The majority of the calories are coming from the dressing. It's 160 calories. Shrimp cocktail, there's the winner. 5 jumbo shrimps and 2 tablespoons of shrimp cocktail sauce, 85 calories. It's a winner. Half a cup of champagne, 78. Who drinks a half a cup? Half a cup of eggnog. Who drinks that? That's 172 calories. Crazy amount of calories there. Hopefully that helps give you some more insights on the nutrition side of things. It's really about paying attention, making better choices. So lastly, let's talk about exercise. Exercise during the holidays. just know that time is going to be more challenged, and you're going to have to be a little more crafty, creative. Again, if you're controlling your calories, you don't need to overexercise to counterbalance it. Need to make it a priority. It has to get scheduled at least 3 times a day. Keep your walking up. That's really important here. All physical activity does not need to be planned. It could be, instead of going out to eat with someone, you could go for a walk. Go walk through. There's a park nearby that has a lot of holiday lighting. That would be a great place to take people to share in that joy and experience getting out and about. A daily movement. If you can't work out, just got to walk. And walk when you're on the phone. Use a small water bottle if you need to refill more frequently. Park farther away. Take the stairs. Stretching, walking breaks, taking time in your day. These are all very practical things to do to get it. Maybe you just need to wake up earlier to get more activity in. That works as well. Okay, we want to make sure that there just gets more movement to help navigate the amount of calories that possibly can be consumed here. Exercise and stress. Regular exercise is a powerful stress reliever, of course. The endorphins and dopamine and serotonin get hit up, and you feel good after you're done usually. It's usually it. You always feel better once you're done. Aerobic exercise is an effective way to improve mood, increase energy, stay focused more during the scramble time. It allows you to check out of the busyness of your day-to-day and kind of mentally refresh and refocus for a higher focal point when you come back to whatever it is, work or the holiday get-together. For maximum stress relief, try to get at least 30 minutes of moderate aerobic activity on most days. Okay? That's just basic. It doesn't have to be all at once, but break it up. 3 10-minute walks. So just start coming to the conclusion on the holiday health guide. Recognize the barriers of holidays will create on you living a healthy lifestyle. It's more difficult, obviously. Time is limited. It's craziness. There's always attention. Know what your holidays look like, how you relate to the holidays. Do you get more stressed? Is it a time of more joy? Do you get to see those loved ones you haven't seen in a while? And allow for you to be proactive on this. Take advantage of it. Now let it take advantage of you. Make sure you're prioritizing you and scheduling appropriately, saying no to others. Small behaviors make a big difference. Smaller plates, food swaps, walk breaks, having enjoyable conversations make the experience so much better for you. And really just have fun. Bring joy to those that you love. Bring joy to those around you. And really experience the holidays for what they're supposed to be, is connecting with others. So I really want to thank you for your time today and spending it with me on the holiday guide here. If you have any questions, comments, certainly leave them as we go. So I really want to thank you for all this.